On the show today, we're going to try and understand the phenomenon between Indian students going to these smaller countries to study medicine, to study MBBS. So we've had quite a few statements in the past few days. We had a statement from a union minister even saying that most of these students, when they come back, they have to take a qualifying exam here in India, and many of them don't even pass. 90% of them don't even pass the qualifying exam. So why do they go? It all comes down to cost. So these are average rates we've pulled out and a cost comparison that if you wanted to study and take an MBBS degree here in India, your cost will be between 30 to 70 lakh rupees for a 4.5-year course. If you're an NRI from the NRI quota, so you're Indian origin but are not from, living in India, the seat could cost anywhere between 90 lakhs to 1.6 crore rupees. And then of course you have government seats or seats in government funded medical colleges which are subject to all kinds of separate quotas, which means there's very little scope. Now let's see what it costs in some of the popular countries, China, Ukraine, Russia, even the Philippines for that matter. And again, this is an average rate. So the tuition for a 6-year course could be between 20 to 35 lakhs in such colleges. Then you have living expenses at about 1.5 lakhs per annum, 9 lakhs approximately for the duration of this entire course. So much cheaper. You'll pay for annual return tickets. So in a total, you're spending around 45 to 50 lakh rupees for the same course, where the education quality is also decent. And you're getting a chance for an experience outside the country. So it's very unfair today to blame students for taking these options. We need to look at how few the seats are. You have nearly 8 lakh students who pass out of NEET every year. That's the central exam. And there are just about 90,000 seats that are available. Where are the rest going to go? To speak on this, I'm joined today by Dr. Jayalal of the Indian Medical Association and Dr. Shashank Joshi, who is member of the COVID Task Force in Maharashtra and a prominent doctor here in Mumbai. Just to get a perspective of what really is going on, let me go across to you first, Dr. Joshi. Why do you think that so many students who want to pursue MBBS are now looking at foreign shores?
Tamanna, I think you said it right, that the filter in India is very tough, and open merit is only 30 to 50%. So most of the open merit candidates are not able to get the seats in India. They have only 35,000 seats available for them, and almost 9 to 10 lakh students every year qualify for NEET. So where will they go? So they go, and also remember that private medical education in India is expensive. It is not economical at all, though governmental education is very economical. I must also honestly admit that in the last 7 years, we have doubled the number of medical colleges. So that credit we must give to the current government, that they have doubled the number of medical colleges, and a large increase has happened in the number of seats. Still, it is woefully short for a 1.3 billion country. And therefore, many of these students opt out for options like Russia, Ukraine, China, and many other places. Also in Europe and US, the education is expensive and they have to do a graduate degree. So there's one more caveat to it. See, in India, most people enter medicine or engineering after 10+2. If you are in United States, you will do 10+2. After that, you will do a graduate degree for 4 years and then you will enter medical college. So obviously, a lot of NRIs also actually send their kids after 10+2 to India. So that is where the private medical colleges are getting their seats filled up. But that quota has also been restricted. But Indian government is consistently trying to upscale this number. We have more than 700 plus districts. And in these 700 plus districts, we have district hospitals, civil hospitals. I think there should be a medical college attached to each of these civil hospitals. Only then we can upscale the numbers, private and public, because there is also a shortage of doctors in India. If you ask me, the doctor to patient ratio is one of the poorest in the world in India. Though I must, as I said, we have almost doubled up the capacity in the last 5 to 7 years. So but there is clearly a shortage, and the cost in a private
we've
school,
doubled up the capacity, but I want to come to the cost factor as well. These are the official costs.
Yeah, so cost.
These are the official costs.
So Tamanna, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right. The
yeah.
cost of going to
I'm going to come to you, Dr.
developing
Joshi. Let me just bring in Dr. Jayalal from the Indian Medical Association. Then I come back to you on the question of the cost, because it is prohibitive to the next level. Now, help us understand, why is it so much more expensive in India to study medicine?
Yeah, first of all, I don't agree the statement that it is expensive to study medicine in India. Second, 50% of our seats, it is one of the cheapest medical education we are giving in our country. The amount of the fees a medical student in a government medical college is paying is just less than 20,000 per year. So the students who are competent enough to getting the good mark, they are entering into the medical colleges. Of the good medical colleges, they are able to do the course there with less amount of for them. Only the students who are coming up, and now there is a demand is high. 16 lakhs people are appearing for the NEET examination. We have 85,000 to 90,000 seats. So that's rest of the 30,000, 40,000 seats are going on a higher cost. Then if you totally take into the amount of money they are spending in going to the abroad countries or the foreign countries and doing the course, the number of years they are spending for the study time is around 6 to 7 years. And even after that, when they come here, only 15 to 20% students are able to finish on the first attempt. So almost they are spending 8 years, 8 to 9 years for an average for a foreign medical graduate to complete the course. But this, when we are comparing with the time and the cost, I think doing a medicine in a foreign country is definitely not that very lucrative. And do we really need so much of doctors? Absolutely. Now the number is very much increased. We are now going to have almost a 1 lakh doctors per year. But there is another 450 Ayush medical colleges are there. Why the same amount of hype we are not able to create in these Ayush medical colleges? If the government is really interested, and they should now concentrate on Ayush medical college, make that competitive enough to attract more students. Let more and more students are coming instead of going abroad. Let them come to the Ayush system of medicine. Let them learn the other system of medicine and come into that. But increasing the number of seats is not mandatorily required.
One minute. So 2-3 points that Dr. Jayalal has made. One is, do we need so many doctors? Well, I think the doctor-patient ratio is still quite abysmal in India. So, we'll have to talk further on that. The second is, those who have merit get into medical colleges, government medical colleges, for as less as 20,000 rupees a year. And that's a big point. I want to understand, Dr. Joshi, help me out here. How many seats are available for this category who can get, education of high caliber, 20,000 rupees a year? And when you say merit, what is the cutoff? Because we hear of, cutoff starting with high 90s percentage.
No, so everything is now a NEET exam. So let me go step by step. Let us assume that India is right now an intake of 90,000 seats, as Dr. Jayalal was saying. And out of the 90,000, at least 40,000 are in private medical colleges, which are expensive. Let us put it that they are expensive compared to US and Europe. They are cheaper. Still, they are expensive. Okay, but they may be cheaper compared to the East Europe and China or Philippines. Now, the rest of the seats, which is around 50,000 seats, are in the government medical colleges. In the government medical colleges, open merit has shrunk. Open merit has shrunk tremendously. Formerly, it used to be 70-80% open merit. It was then 30% to the reservation. Now, open merit is only 30% to 50% based on state to state and college to college. So that has also been litigated, and always it is under litigation. For the last 25-30 years, we always see that medical admissions are perpetually in the courts, and courts are deciding about the same. Now, clearly we have an adverse doctor to patient ratio. There is no question asked about it. We need more doctors. I agree with Dr. Jayalal that we should infuse more students and enthusiasm in Ayush system, but people want to learn allopathic medicine. I also should, as I told you, admit before that government of India currently in the last 5 years has doubled the number of medical colleges. We had around 350 medical colleges. Now we have 600 medical colleges, and they are on a clear mission to increase the number of medical colleges. So I am certain that in another 5 years, we will have 1,000 medical colleges. And a lot of Ayush medical colleges will become more holistic in their approach. So that approach is there. But clearly, these 50,000 seats are reduced to 25,000 seats. So unless and that filter is a very tough filter. And in that filter to get in is tough. So when you have 16 lakh students aspiring, the qualifying students are around 8 to 9 lakhs. Out of the 8 to 9 lakhs, only 20-25,000 are actually getting into an open category. So that is a very tough filter. And obviously, lot of people have aspirations. And obviously, if they have aspirations, they need to grow and go through those aspirational this thing. So we also have a need for doctors in India, and we have doctors needed in all areas, the primary care doctors or the family medicine, then of course the specialists. So there is also a shortage there, and we have also become an export house and a brain drain. So also remember, the doctors which we produce in India, not all of them are staying here. After MBBS, after MD or MS, after DM or MCH, there's still a lot of them are also getting brain drained out, some of the best brains in India for different reasons. So I think it's very important that we continue, and I am very happy that Ministry of Health, Government of India, we should congratulate them that they have consistently in the last 5 years made a lot of efforts to increase the number of medical seats, and they will continue doing that.
You've congratulated them, Dr. Joshi. You've congratulated them 2-3 times so far. And yes, you're saying that the number is doubled, and that's great. But, I want to talk to a student possibly looking at this show right now, and their parents watching this show right now. And they're wondering that should we A, give up our child's dream of studying medicine, B, find the way to cough up massive fees here if they haven't made it to that 0.000 percentile of people who can make it to those, very few government college seats, or should we risk them going to a country which will at least give them the education, but then you don't know what happens tomorrow? It's a tough choice. These people can't wait another 5-10 years for all of those medical college seats to come in. So while it's great to see some efforts are being made, we need to agree that we are today far behind. Dr. Jayalal, you talked about, the filter where that those who have merit, get through. But look at the numbers. If you have only 25 to 35,000 seats for lakhs of students who have studied hard, who have qualified, who have capabilities, this is a very, very harsh filter. And we are creating a situation where the best of the best, after all of these hurdles, realize that they can go abroad, be doctors, and make a lot of money. Indian doctors and their caliber is known the world over. Don't you think we need to change the system, Dr. Jayalal?
No, absolutely not. Because if you look at any Western countries, whether it is US or UK, they have never increased the number of seats in the medical education. The number of people, how many people are getting qualified, is only depending upon if the student is meritorious, he undergoes a rigorous training, then only he gets to the degree. They just for the sake, they do not increase the number. So increasing the number is not going to be the ultimate result. Even if you see Western, Tamil or Southern India, now the doctor population ratio is very much ahead of what we are expecting. It is now something around 500 to 600 patients we are having a doctor. There is a skewed distribution has to be there put on that. I will not agree the statement that just because there is a demand that we should increase the seat. You see, there is a lot of people want to come into the administrative service, IAS. Do you think that just because millions of people are applying for IAS, you will increase the seats in the IAS? You will increase the seat in any other thing? And what is the result? What has happened to the engineering education today? We have increased the seats like anything, and the quality is coming down. When you are sticking on to the quality, you increase the rigorous training protocol. We want a quality-oriented doctors at this moment. Thailand has 3,000 patients, one doctor. Their health indicators are much better than India. It is not the number of doctors alone. It is the infrastructure, the way you make it, the quality with which you are making a doctor. All this counts. Just because you are going after a number, and if our population, there will be always demand. Just because there is a demand, and if you are going on increasing the seats and going on saying that any number of medical colleges will open without a less number, and why the people are going abroad, so let us start the medical colleges here. So all that will not be in the long run help for the good health care of India. India needs,
that's a very important point. Quality. We need the filter. Dr. Joshi, I want you to respond to that, and I also want you to give us perspective on the quality of the students who are coming back with these degrees to India, because they're more widely available, they are cheaper in some cases. When they come back, they of course have to take another qualification exam before they can practice medicine here. Why do so many of them not make the cut?
So, couple of points. First thing is that every medical degree in India must have the highest quality, and the quality should never be compromised as far as medicine is concerned. So from that standpoint, whether it's a private or a public medical college, the quality standards have to be optimal and they should be audited from time to time. So that question does not arise. Number two, I agree with Dr. Jayalal that just because there is a need, there is no need to put surplus unless and until we have adequate and sufficient teaching faculty and staff. We are seeing a large proportion of both private and public medical colleges where there is a gross shortage of teaching faculty. He himself a teaching faculty. I have been a past teaching faculty. We know the situation. The third thing which is important to understand is that these students who are trained abroad, they have to go through the very strong filter of a qualification exam. That qualification exam is one of the toughest. It is as tough as any USMLE or a flex exam in the UK. And if they qualify that exam, it is not an easy exam to pass. 15 to 20% only pass at first shot, and they have to take multiple attempts to get through that filter, which is absolutely appropriate. I think Government of India has done that job correctly, that we ensure that the quality is never compromised at any cost. I think doctors in India are one of the best in the world, and their healthcare delivery, despite of an adverse doctor to patient population ratio compared to the Western world, still are delivering their outcomes. But yes, I still feel, and here I may disagree with Dr. Jayalal, that to build healthcare infrastructure, every district of India has a district hospital. If they make a medical college there in the public health sector, then the private health sector dependence will come down, and we will be able to give good quality medical care and service model. It will go hand in hand, and we'll be able to increase the number of seats in a proportionate and appropriate way without compromising the quality. That is all I had to say.
No,
right,
just a word. I just fully
Yeah.
agree. But the district-based medical college, Tamil Nadu has 33 districts, but we have 60 medical college. Kerala has more than the district, they have medical college. If you see any southern states, all have, even Maharashtra, you have 65 medical college. It is more than the district what you are having. Now we have reached that point. We have reached the point. Now let us not
Dr.
go
Jayalal,
for
most of them are private medical colleges. Let me ask, see in Maharashtra also, most of them are private medical colleges. See, if we really want to be sincere in our efforts for healthcare delivery, every district of Maharashtra, and it's also skewed distribution. Like Mumbai city will have 10 medical colleges, and the healthcare model of Mumbai is predominantly public hospitals. So private medical colleges are hardly present in Mumbai. We have only one or two. So if we have a ratio where public medical colleges in every district is present, and you see the districts are, all 33 districts are not covered. Out of the 33 districts, maybe only 10 or 12 districts have all the 65 medical colleges concentrated. So it's important to understand that 700 districts of India, we need to have healthcare delivery. We saw it in COVID times when we have put, see the stress test was COVID.
Exactly.
And in that stress test we passed.
You
So let me, Tamanna, let me tell you, the doctors.
COVID should have taught us.
But doctors, the doctors and healthcare infrastructure rose up to the occasion, both public and private. And we were able to overcome all the, much better than many other parts of the world. See, I should not be criticizing other parts of the world, but we should be mindful that we have done a commendable job despite of all our limitations.
So today we're not having a commentary on India's medical health system. So though that is part of the story, we're talking about what these students go through. Why do they go? Are their needs not fulfilled here? Should we increase that scope for them? And also, one question about how expensive private education has become. Of course, obviously in medicine, but in all fields. Does education, if it's in the private sector, also need to be subsidized and not something which really topples a family's finance? So a lot of aspects to this, but I want to thank you both for joining us on this leg of the discussion.